My name is Simon Whitcomb and I'm the Senior Chaplain of the University, and I'd like to welcome you to this Act of Remembrance. Although we can't gather in the usual way this year, it's very good to take this time to pause in the middle of our days. We pause to remember all those who have suffered or died as a result of conflict, as we do every year on November the 11th. This year we also remember those who have given their lives fighting a different sort of battle during this pandemic. Those who have put themselves on the front line by caring for others in hospital or in care homes or in other situations. Those around the world and those in our own country. Those who may be known to each of us. It's good to be filming this Act of Remembrance in our newly named Peace Garden, which is currently being restored. We've discovered a plaque in the garden which tells us that this garden retreat was created in 1940 and given in love and loyalty by past and present members of the college to mark the Jubilee year of its establishment back in 1890, and to provide a place of peace and beauty for those who follow after. Their very memory is fair and bright. So the creation of this garden during the early years of the Second World War and those last words by the poet Henry Vaughan both make this an appropriate setting for our Act of Remembrance today. We're very pleased that we're joined by Oliver and Emily, our healthcare students, as we remember the amazing work done by NHS workers and other carers during the last 6 months and the tragic cost of that care for some.
These are the hands by Michael Rosen. These are the hands that touch us first. Feel your head, find the pulse and make your bed.
These are the hands that tap your back, touch the skin, hold your arm.
Wheel the bin, change the bulb, fix the drip, pour the jug, replace your hip.
These are the hands that fill the bath, mop the floor, flick the switch.
Soothe the sore, burn the swabs, give us a jab, throw out sharps, design the lab.
And these are the hands that stop the leaks, empty the pan, wipe the pipe, carry the kind.
Clamp the veins, make the cast, log the dose, and touch us last. Remembrance for me is quite an important time, I think, because I'm ex-forces as well. So I think it's always important to remember the sacrifice that they have given for the freedoms that we enjoy today, like being able to come to university to study a degree or whatever you might enjoy as a freedom itself.
On the last lockdown, I was chosen to option in to continue with my placement. So at that time, I was based in the Tewkesbury Community Hospital, and then since the lockdown, we turned to a COVID hospital as well. It was an extraordinary experience for me, because it's like at the beginning, I don't really quite anxious because I don't know what am I going to come up with. But when I was getting and then we'll practice on the placement, it was everyone was just very friendly and support each other. We are just to be there to have to take your duty of care to take care of all the patients, and it was a brilliant time, a unique time for me as well as a student nurse.
I think during basic training it fell on November the 11th, so we had to do a massive parade through the town of Pirbright to the military cemetery, and I think that was a very proud moment for me to be able to represent November the 11th as a serving member of the armed forces. As hard as it may seem, I think the best bit of advice I could give to someone would be to try and keep a positive mental attitude, and to stay active, but obviously within the legal parameters of this lockdown, and just talk to people, Skype, Zoom, stay active and stay communicating to the people that you love.
So now, after some words of introduction by Stephen Marston, our Vice-Chancellor, and the traditional words of remembrance read by George Berry, one of the Student Union officers, we will hear the last post played, and we will keep silence, along with many others across the country and around the world.
Let us remember the men and women of all nations who have died as a result of conflict, and all who have lived and died in the service of others. We remember especially this year all who have given their lives caring for others during the current pandemic.
They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Selfless sacrifice of those carers who have died this year. We commit ourselves afresh to serve the needs of others and to live lives marked by self-giving, compassion and love.
And a closing prayer. Loving, ever-living and compassionate God, you understand the pain of loss, the heartache of bereavement. May we hold in our hearts all those whose families or friends have died. You are a light that shines in the darkest times. Guide us and heal us in our sickness and sorrow. You comfort us in times of fear. May we comfort each other even as we keep apart. You console and lead us in times of doubt and confusion. May we follow the light of your love and spread hope. You move our hearts to acts of generosity. May we be led to share what we have with those in need. God of life, we thank you for the signs of your light in the midst of our darkness. May we be signs of your compassion in the heart of your world. Amen. My thanks to all those who have taken part in filming this Act of Remembrance today so that we can share this time together. Next year we hope to be gathering together again on each of our campuses. If you'd like to add the name of someone that you are remembering, you can follow the link to our online Remembering Together page. Thank you for making time to pause for this time of remembrance.